Whether skiing down a snowy slope or hiking up a rocky one, pointed metal poles can provide much-needed support. They add balance and rhythm to both experiences. Aluminium poles were first developed for skiing. In recent years, the concept has been modified for trekking poles. Ski poles and trekking poles look alike, but there are important differences. Ski poles are a set length, while trekking poles can be extended as needed. Ski poles begin with hollow shafts made of aircraft-grade aluminium. They bake them for up to 12 hours to stiffen the metal. Next, the poles are pressed between these rollers to straighten them. The stiffening of the metal beforehand is key here. It ensures that the aluminium doesn't snap during this critical straightening process. One end of each ski pole shaft goes into a device that squeezes it down to precisely tapered dimensions. This shape is more resistant to breakage and also makes the pole easier to swing. An automated cutting tool spirals into the shaft to even out the jagged edge. Another cutter trims the wider end of the pole. Next, they punch a notch at the same end. It will serve as a guide when they put the trade name and artwork on. After the ski poles have been tapered and trimmed, they're inspected at this station. A supervisor examines each one. Once they pass, they're ready for sanding. They spin between two sanding belts. This removes dusty residue and roughens up the surface to give a key for the paint. The poles are twirled on an overhead rail as a spray gun applies the paint. An automated tool then applies paint through stencils to transfer designs and lettering onto the poles. Each pass of the tool applies a different color, and this layering effect builds up the designs. Next, the poles pass through an acid bath. An electric current ripples through the acid solution. This causes the poles to oxidize for a scratch-resistant finish called anodizing. Meanwhile, on the production line for trekking poles, long wire-bristled brushes are inserted into the various shafts to rough up the inner surface. This means an expander device can grip the surface to extend the poles. Next, a spray gun coats some unfinished poles with clear lacquer. They now survey a lineup of ski poles. They're on the lookout for smudges or other flaws. If they meet approval, it's on to the next step. A carriage moves each ski pole forward towards a carbide tip and presses the tip onto the tapered end. With this tough tip in place, the ski pole is now equipped to pierce any hard snowpack. Next, a worker slides rubber grips onto the handle end of the poles. A hydraulic mechanism shoves the grip more tightly onto the pole. There are many different kinds of grips, each with a different look and feel, depending on the type of pole being made. Some ski pole grips even have clips for attaching gloves, which is handy. Trekking pole shafts now roll down the production line. Plastic sleeves with carbide points are slid onto the lower shaft section. A spinning tool drives part of an expander mechanism into the pole's middle shaft. This expander will allow the pole to be lengthened or shortened to the user's preference. The other part of the expander mechanism is fitted into the lower shaft. Finally, a worker assembles the parts, sliding one section of the expander mechanism onto the other. Finally, they sharpen the tips. And these poles are now ready for action, whether you're climbing up mountains or skiing down them.